Hey folks, welcome back. Another Polemas video. Today let's talk a bit about the new Champion Blue and Zapdos, which is coming out tonight. So, as usual, we will be polling for that when that drops, so make sure I'll tune into the channel for that. Hopefully it goes a bit better than Leaf. So, yeah. Also, good luck to everyone pulling on this banner as well. And let's get into this unit. So, this Champion Blue and Zapdos, it is the support of the three, right? Again, these three, they all occupy one of the three original roles in the game, while also getting a different EX role as well. So this one, the EX role over here is Striker, which seems a bit confusing at first, but makes a lot of sense once we get into this. So all right, so yeah, for this blue, let's talk about some of its upsides, what it does, right? So to start off, at the bottom of the list, first of all, again, the EX Striker, right? And people might be wondering, what the heck, the EX Striker? Who cares? It doesn't really do much. Like, what's the big deal here? It's actually kind of a big deal, right? First of all, it makes it so that the rebuff that it applies, right, for the opponent team, it does become AoE, but also because the B move does need rebuff to use it, or rebuff in of itself could be helpful for your team, especially if you're running it with other electric type damage dealers, right? For a support, this is not a unit that you really want to just come in and just click discharge just to get rebuff on the opponent's stage, right? Because he has a lot of really great training move stuff that you kind of want to do beforehand, right? And you don't want to waste turns like really going out there to click like discharge, right? Just to get the rebuff in there. So that's definitely very nice. So yeah, also it does pretty good damage, low key, right? For a first support, like that Sync Nuke, I think is like almost as powerful as like Hau's, which is pretty good, right? All right, so what else we got? So it's an elite gauge support. It is an elite, absolute elite gauge support, right? Like its own speed, 356 at 5-star level 140 is pretty good, right? But it's mainly some other things. First of all, this X speed all plus, which is +3 speed for your entire team. Use that twice, boom, that's +6 speed for your entire team. And also the fact that this guy over here in Pride of Palette, right? As you can see, it has free move next to the user when the attack move is successful. So straight up, this guy, every time you use discharge, right, it's free move next. And discharge is a 3 gauge move, so you just get free discharges straight up. So yeah, this means 3 units on your team, 1 unit straight up does not use up any gauges at all, right? So yeah, you could run like 2 4-gauge units on the other 2 slots, and it might, it not even might work. It most likely will be fine gauges wise, right? At least most of them. I don't know if it's like a Hala plus something else, but like most of the time it will be very much runnable, which is just very good. Yeah. Outside of that, there's also some other stuff like turbocharge on the grid. Again, I don't think that's necessary. I think that's pretty much overkill. Move rate refresh 9 on your B move. Like, yeah, this is probably all like overkill stuff, but still. So yeah, elite gauge support, right? Just fantastic over there. As usual, the master passive and rebuffs, right? Just like the other two. This one is Flag Bear, which does slightly suck a bit because he is like a special support, and you get Flag Bearer instead of Spirit, but oh well, I guess. Again, literally same situation as Singsu Chris. And yeah, he's also a great, special attack support, right? Like we mentioned, it's probably, I'm not even probably, he's the best special attack support in the game. I think he's the best special support in the game. It's just, yeah, fantastic. First of all, like the training move itself, right, which is the meat and potatoes of the being a special support over here, right? 1 MP +3 crit immediately, right? Max 3 slots of the gauge used, so basically it should be each gauge is +2, right? So yeah, easily you could get +6 special attack, +3 crit for a whole team in 1 click, and then you also get +2 special move up next for a team as well. Yeah, that's pretty darn. That is really good. That is very nice, I think, right? And outside of that, you also have stuff like Team Sync Think 9, right? You know, there's also stuff like this, like debuff opponent special defense. There's just, yeah, there's a lot of great things for that, for being a special support on your team. It's great, folks. So outside of that, right, we also have just him being like a great healer and tank, right? That's what the B move is mainly for. It does need rebuff to activate just like the other two, and this one heals your team by 30%, right? And then it gives an extra 30% healing for Blue himself, right, as a tank. That is fantastic. That is fantastic, because like the AoE team healing thing is really, really nice, but you know, most time when you're trying to go for healing, it's mostly for like the main tank of your team, which in most scenarios will be this Blue, and it's just great that he just gets like extra healing himself, being that main tank, taking most of the damage, right? So yeah, that's really nice. Removes all status conditions, that's fantastic, and then gives gradual healing as well for your team. Yeah, that's just probably, you know, one of the best healing moves in the entire game, right? Definitely up there. So yeah, itself, it's a really, really nice tank too, because of the fact that you do have the defense and special defense up, right, every time the user's attack move is successful for the entire team. By the way, not just him. He also has a 30% chance of, you know, flinching the opponent, so obviously that helps your tanking. There's also other stuff like quick cure, unflappable, impervious, right, synchro healing, vigilance, initial guard, right, just like so much stuff in his grid that helps with that. So it's really amazing. Oh, electro repulsion too, right? 30% damage reduction. Obviously, your flag bearer also gives you damage reduction there too. And yeah, also it just has some OP teams. Like again, he's a Kanto master passive unit. Can anyone just think of, you know, maybe 2 other Kanto electric type, you know, damage heroes that would be really nice to run alongside him, preferably also having master passives and being incredibly powerful themselves, right? So yeah, that's got to be one of the craziest teams in the game. You also have I mentioned this before, but like flinch. There's also confusion and paralysis from the discharge, right? You know, discharge being a 30% chance of paralysis, and then you have hostile environment 2 over here, right? I'm pretty sure this is a guaranteed paralyzer, or at least really close. And then you also have there's this like gobsmack 2 over here, 30% chance of confusion if you ever need that for some reason. So it exists, right? Yeah, like just look at the amount of like things this guy does, right? Just an incredible amount of just different things that this unit does and it brings to the team. So there's also this new thing which buffs your team's sync damage, which is kind of crazy as well, right? The team S move power up 2, which I'm assuming means it powers up sync moves of your entire team for like 20%. That's what I'm assuming, but we'll see the specific number. I mean, it says to probably is 20%, but we'll see, right? So that's really nice. There's OE debuffs. We talked about that already with the first sync move debuff, defense, special defense by 2, right? It's only once per battle. So there's that, right? It is AoE as well if you do have that EX roll, so that's another, you know, great part of having that EX roll. And you also have Discharge Overwhelm and Satisfied Snicker, right? That's just, again, AoE attack, special attack debuff if you ever need that for any multipliers, or just to make him tank even better, even though he's already great at that, right? So that's also pretty cool, and he has good damage for a support, right? Let's be real. Even though if you look at his offenses, right, like the offensive stats aren't that good over here, right? 156 attack, 156 special attack is not that great, but once you do have him with that extra support or a striker EX roll, right, thrown in there, that's surely going to raise the attack and special attack by a decent amount, hopefully. I'm not sure exactly what the numbers are, but, you know, if anyone knows, you know, put in the comments down below, but we'll see, right? But yeah, that should also give it a pretty good boost, and regardless, it's still like a 3 gauge move, right? And again, we've talked about this guy's sync being basically like almost as powerful, not as powerful, but almost as powerful as like EX, like Hau's AoE sync, right? Which is pretty good in of itself. So yeah, like and yeah, all this other stuff, right? The crit buff, special attack buff, special move up next, that could also apply to his own damage too. So that's definitely really nice. So as for any downsides, I don't know, man. Not that I could like you could definitely find some, but I feel like it's a lot of it's just nitpicking, right? I feel like, yeah, it's not as like obvious as like some of the like the leaf downsides maybe if you compare it like that. But is it like actually I don't know. I don't think there's a perfect unit in the game, but it's pretty darn close to like a perfect unit, right? Just trying to be a bit facetious here. Like if you want to really pick on anything, I guess you could say for like the healing B move, right? Because most time you'd probably like use that later in the battle, and you might have like a similar situation with Leaf, although I don't think it's as bad, right? Because this isn't as because Leaf's B move is crucial, absolutely crucial to her kit. Blue's B move is nice, it's very good, but I don't think it's as crucial to the kit as like Leaf's B move, right? Because like Blue could still do like 50 other things that are really, really good without the B move, right? Leaf, you lose the ability to use the B move. Again, you can still do some great things, which is why I don't think like the Leaf issue is like that big of an issue either. But clearly, obviously, Leaf's B move is more important to her kit than Blue's B move. But yeah, like if you just use up like your rebuffs earlier in the game, and like it's a legendary arena, and like you get to the later bars and like okay, yeah, you can't use it there. That would slightly suck. But again, you just make sure you use it accordingly, right? When to use your discharges, when to use, go for your sync, all that stuff. Which again, it's a real issue, but it's just not as bad as like the Leaf situation, right? So, as for lucky skills for this unit, there's just do really like he has gradual healing, he has he has vigilance, right? He has whatever else, he has gauges, so there's not anything like you really need to go for. I would still recommend maybe something like Vigilance, because like I know he has it on the grid, but it's not in a really great spot, and that just saves you some energy to pick up some of the other stuff on the grid, which he has a lot of other great stuff on the grid. So Vigilance is a solid one, I'd say still. But other than that, you could go for especially if you do have him with the EX Striker roll, you could definitely go for stuff like Crit Strike 2, right? That's real. That's something you could do, right? So yeah, I feel like those, and maybe again just your Head Start Adrenaline if it's on any specific team that could utilize that stuff like that. So yeah, that's the lucky skills. So in terms of sync grids, do we even really have to talk about 1 out of 5s anymore? Like there's really not too much to talk about. Let's just let's just go from 2 out of 5. So 2 out of 5 grid. There's a few things you could pick up, right? Since it's a tank, stuff like Quick Cure is definitely really nice. Flammable. Right, if there are stages that you need. If there aren't, then there's no point. What else? The move gauge refresh 9, like okay, that's nice and all, but like this thing only does have like 2 MP, right? So it's only like for 2, and also the gauge. I think the gauges are enough, man. I think the gauges unit provides is already enough. So for some like actual things, you maybe pick up hostile environment could be nice, right? And brain power plus, I know it's like damage stuff, but still, right? Brain power plus Fierce Brain is definitely solid, right? Definitely solid. Since there's not too many very just general things you could pick up. Again, there's specific things, right? So if you are running him in electric terrain, you can definitely pick up something like electric repulsion. That could be nice, right? That's just damage reduction 30% in electric terrain, which is very, very, very good, right? But other than that, it's just really like if you want Gobsmack on your discharge, sure. Extra move gauge refresh just to get like just net positive gauges every time. Well, not every time, but like 40% of the time you use discharge, right? Doesn't cost you any gauges. You get a bunch of gauges back, all that stuff, right? So maybe that, but yeah, again, it just depends on. Yeah, it's a support. A lot of the grids for supports really just do depend on what stages you're fighting and your teammates, all that stuff, right? So as for 3 out of 5, again, the same stuff applies, right? If you don't have Vigilance, you could pick it up, right? It's just that, again, just coming up here, it's kind of like, okay, what else are you, like, you're going all the way down here. What else are you really picking up? I guess Initial Guard, maybe it costs 10 energy, and it's like, it's very specific. It's really just for like stages that just come in and like their first move that they ever use is just like some big damaging move, which off the top of my head, I don't really think there are too many of those instances, right? At least in Legendary Gauntlet, but I guess in Mass Mode there are quite a few, right? Like for example, you know, Lance just comes in and like Giga impacts you like turn 1. Okay, that would like, or Outrage or whatever the heck, right? That would do like 1 billion damage. But otherwise, yeah, you're fine living without this. So, yeah. Again, just its support grids really highly depend on what you're running. I'd say, for example, if you're just going for something for more sustainability, right, in terms of like staying alive and all that stuff, you could definitely go for something like this, where you pick up Synchro Healing, Impervious if that stage does debuff, right? And let's see what else. Probably go up something where you pick up these two as well. You know, this could be really good for just sustainability, staying alive, all that stuff. And otherwise, if you want, you go for a damage route. That's you definitely go for a damage route if you want your support just to also just be a really great damage healer. This is more so if you do have the EX the Striker EX roll, right? Because you know, that should give it a lot more damage there, right? But as for the last 10, you could do a variety of things here. You could pick up Satisfied Snicker if you want. Just pick up more damage nodes if you want as well, right? Hostile Environment. Again, initial guard is very niche and dependent on, like, stage dependent. Team Think would be really good as well if you just, it's a short battle and you just want big damage coming out of your team. That's definitely there as an option. So yeah, I feel like that's most of them. I guess if you are also running him in Electric Train, obviously picking up Electro Repulsion, I feel like it's just a really great value sort of node, right? Just so yeah, just pick that up and just slot it in whichever other grid you're running it with, right? So, and it's a support, so there's not too much to really talk about team comps, right? Just throw like anything that needs, you know, a special support, right? That needs good gauges, that needs like, well, yeah, just any team. Like honestly, you could even throw him on like physical teams, and he could still be nice, right? Just for the sake of like gauges and stuff and healing, tanking. So yeah, you can throw it on anything. Obviously, extra points for like electric teams that he could also give rebuff for, right? And also take advantage of like stuff like Electro Repulsion, right? If they have Electric Train, and do more damage in Electric Train, all that stuff. So yeah, there's just extra points for like electric teams, but otherwise it's a support. Throw him anywhere. Anyways, all in all, it's a fantastic unit, man. It really is. Again, I'd say easily the best special support in the game. And he could still be really good even if you throw him on physical teams. And yeah, just a great healer, gauge unit, again, special support that could do some damage, right? Paralysis, flinch. Dude has so much stuff, man. It's like, it's unbelievable. Like, you just go down that list. It's unreal how good this guy is. Honestly, like this, I'd also give him like a 9.8 out of 10. Like, he's just fantastic. He's fantastic. He's a great unit. Yeah, I know it might be, okay, it might be like my support bias again. I like support units. But that's the honest truth, man. Like, when you look at units that you get the most mileage out of, right? Like the units that you use the most, just look at your own rosters, right? It's a lot of times it's the support units, right? Because it's not specific to whatever stage, whatever the opponent is weak to. Sometimes it is, but like most time not, right? And a top tier like special support is 100% worth going for. 100% worth going through. Like, the only reason why you wouldn't go for him is if you just hate blue. You despise, you think blue is the worst, right? You hate Zapdos or whatever, right? You just gotta be like a dedicated hater, just not at least consider the spanner, right? Or if you're just completely out of gems. But like, if you have like any gems, I would very much recommend spending it over here, right? Because the amount of value you get out of this unit is unreal, I think. Yeah, you will not regret it. Whoever pulls on whoever pulls him, you will not regret it. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, that's me this one, I guess. Hope you all guys think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy the videos from our channel. Some more Pokemon Carnage, and we'll be pulling for him live later tonight, so stay tuned for that. Have notifications on, maybe, I don't know. hopefully this time it actually goes well and the camera doesn't die halfway, and we actually get some good pulls. So yeah, good luck to everyone pulling, and I'll see you guys in the next one.